Well, guys, I got some good news for you. Finally got the release date of that TV show we're going to be on, Farms of America. The series is supposed to premiere, I think, on May 20th.
So yesterday when I was trying to get out, the internet wire, which you can't see because the windows are dirty, caught the back of the cab. Well, trying to come in today, it was even lower. See that? And it caught the cab. Look at that. So I called him and I said, hey, I'm about to take all the internet down in the entire area. So they say someone's coming out here, but I can't leave because I'll catch it again and no one's here to help me do that. So I hope they get done out here like in an hour and a half, because it's probably when I'll be done. And yay me, I misplaced my GoPro 3 times because I was running between this, the water truck, another truck, back to the office, had to fix something on the sprayer, then had to come back over here, and in between it all, I left it, but it hung on, if you know what I mean. So there's that. This is why I don't like do this, because I end up losing it. But the wind has died down, so I am going to go spray the second shot with Warrant, and then take this back to the shop. By then Carter should be home and I can come get that, and then we'll have to come back and get the service truck. Plus it's like 88 degrees outside. It's hot, but we're getting it done. It's gonna be a great day. Well, I guess if you threaten to take out the internet for this whole area, they show up pretty quickly. I'm impressed. I'm impressed they're here, because I guarantee if I took it out, everybody be calling them. So kudos to JEA for showing up and getting it done.
Well, guys, I got some good news for you. Finally got the release date of that TV show we're going to be on, Farms of America. During our soybean planting video, I told y'all it was going to air in May on the Cowboy channel. Again, I don't know where the Cowboy channel is, but if you happen to know where it is, the series is supposed to premiere, I think, on May 26th. Not sure of the time or whatever. Now, we're not going to be the first episode. What they told us is I believe we're going to be like the 4th episode. So our episode is going to come on in June, I believe, right now. But if all the rest of the episodes are as good as the one that they made of us, which I've seen the one that they made of our farm, and I was really, really happy. If the rest of them are going as good as that, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable series. So y'all be looking forward on the Cowboy channel, May 26th. If you don't have access to the Cowboy channel, I believe it's supposed to start airing on RFD TV in June sometime. Again, the show is called Farms of America, so y'all be sure to be looking for it. And I'm not exactly sure when this video is going to become available, but it'll probably be sometime around that May 26th period if I had to guess. And also that YouTube show that I had to do during soybean planting, I also talked about. I still haven't gotten the go-ahead that I can tell what it is, but I think they're just about done editing the video. I'm not sure yet when it's going to be released, but it's going to be a pretty good one, an interesting one. But when I get the go-ahead on that, I'll give y'all all the details so you can see it. All right, let's talk a little bit about the weather. How I believe I said I wish I'd planted my cotton last week. Well, we got done with corn, and then we had we had rain come in, whatever, and my plan was to immediately start planting cotton as soon as it dried up. Well, anyway, our traditional blackberry winter came in about a week earlier than normal. And what that blackberry winter is just what it sounds like. It's usually about 7 to 10 days of our last cold spell of the season. It's usually cool, dreary, and wet. So anyway, the first week of May, we were forecast to get, some showers, not major rain or anything, but we were forecast to get some showers. Temperatures in mid 60s. We actually had a few nights down around 50 degrees. I'm like, I'm not going to be planting cotton. It's way too early in the planting window. I'm not going to be planting cotton. Cotton really needs a minimum soil temperature of about 65 degrees to germinate. And then with the addition of the predicted, showers over multiple days coming in, like, I'm not going to do it. It'll be a recipe for disaster. I'll automatically have to replant. So we'll just wait, because the week after, well, this week they were forecasting, 85, 90 degrees, sunny, and everything else. So we'll just wait. Well, anyway, as last week came to a close, we missed all of the showers. It didn't rain. Yeah, it was cool, but the soil was relatively dry, and we didn't get those rains. So if I planted last week, probably everything would have been okay. But as last week went along, this week started looking worse and worse. Rather than having multiple days of hot, sunny, dry weather, they started increasing chances of rain for a lot of those days. Well, anyway, we wound up getting a rain Sunday night. We wound up getting a rain Monday evening. We didn't get a rain Tuesday, Wednesday, or today. But starting tomorrow all the way through next Tuesday, we've got a really good chance of rain every single day. And then, like I said, tomorrow, I think we're under a moderate risk for severe weather tomorrow. So, but we do have warm temperatures. But we get multiple days in a row on this cottonseed. Now, I've seen it in the past. It doesn't even take multiple days in a row. Just one good rain is enough to make the seed start rotting. So I don't know. I mean, farming is one industry where you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. The biggest variable in your profitability, you have absolutely no control over. Our weather predicting technology has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 10, 20 years, but it's still not foolproof. It's not 100%. With the information I had available last week, I made the smartest decision with the, information I had on hand. It just so happened that information proved to be inaccurate. I mean, what can you do? So now our cotton crop's delayed by about a week. There's a good chance it might not come up. If we get some heavy pounding rains over the next few days, there's a good chance this will need replanting. However, we're going to quickly run out of time to replant because I'm already getting, kind of a late start to begin with. So but anyway, what they're calling for tomorrow, they're calling for like up to 3/4 of an inch, but we know how these thunderstorms are. I mean, you get a sail on top of you. I mean, it can drop 2 to 3 inches in no time whatsoever. So if rains do come tomorrow, it will definitely be varying amounts. Yeah, but man, I now wish that we planted last week. I'd be looking pretty smart. Because there were guys in the area that were planting cotton. So I talked it over with my cotton scout a lot. I'm like, if I don't plant, it's not going to rain this week. I mean, that's just a guarantee. If I don't plant, it's not going to rain this week. If I do plant, we're going to get every bit of the rain forecasted. So I'm going to do all the other cotton farmers in this area a favor. I'm not going to plant. They can go ahead and plant. They'll come up to a good stand. I'll wait till the next week, and I'll make it rain then, which looks like that's what's going to happen. Like I said, danged if you do, danged if you don't.
Give you guys a bird's eye view of what it looks like after it has been sprayed, rolled, and planted. You can see that the trenches right there are open, and that's where our cotton will pop out from. It also makes following the rows a heck of a lot easier now. You can also see which way he went. Darker going up, lighter going back down. So 12 rows up and 12 rows back. And I am going straight down the middle and splitting them. The paraquat had a harder time on the second half of the farm that I sprayed because, well, as you can see, it's been cloudy. It really hasn't had any sun on it. So I had to wait until late this afternoon, plus the winds were up earlier, to come out here and spray the warrants. Also, you can see that my neighbor has corn over there, and all that separates us is a tiny little road. So I wanted to make sure that the wind had completely died down, which it has, before I came over here to spray again. The boys did a really good job. Unfortunately, there have been at least 30 buzzards out here due to wildlife. Sometimes you can't save them all, mainly field mice and bunnies. We did see a turkey over there, but we did not see a nest.
Well, we got done over at Clinton, another 105 acres done. Just got moved up here to my mom's house, and up here on this very first field, this is a very first field that we run our new ripper on last fall. And if you remember, before we ran the ripper, we replaced the plow shanks with some ones we ordered off of Shoop. And anyway, I did this whole about 6-7 acre field with those shanks, and then I went back to the shop, took them off, put the original Case IH ones on there just because I just didn't like the job they was doing. And what those Shoop plow points were doing was giving way too much top soil disturbance. And we're telling it right now, because this right here is rough as a cob. As you can tell, I'm going pretty slow, 4 miles an hour, because it's so rough back there. I'm trying to minimize my planter unit bounce, and it's rough. I'm glad I only did 7 acres with those plow points rather than doing a lot more. I mean, eventually it ought to smooth out quite a bit, but right now it is rough. I know the last farm I just got done planting was done with the original plow points on there, and it was nice and smooth. You know, I just watched my units back there, and they were just gliding along. I still need some new plow points on that ripper. We're going to replace them before we use it this fall, but I'm going to be getting some from Wear Parts LLC. They got like the original Case IH design, and you know, very, very minimal surface disturbance. Also, I'm glad to switch farms because if you can tell down through there, I can actually see my burn down strips. We got a real good kill on these strips, and even though it's hard to tell out in the field because we got so much robust biomass that it's kind of lapping over into the middles, when it's laid down, you can see these strips that I'm planting right into. And then my row cleaner's right there, just moving the cover crop right out of the way, giving me a nice clean strip to plant into. Based on what I saw, I think that Clinton farm was the only one where we didn't get a real good kill on the burned down strips. I think pretty much every other place did. I don't know, for whatever reason. I think it was cloudy that day, and I just think that the plants just didn't take up the Roundup real well. But I think every other place we're going to have cotton, I think I got a pretty dang good kill on my strips there, so planting ought to be pretty easy. Well, I was hoping the rains wouldn't arrive until maybe tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. That was what the original forecast kind of called for, but tell you what, it's not looking very promising there. Let's check the forecast. I think they might have upped the rain chances.
29.80 inches and falling. At Blytheville, it was partly sunny. Here is the forecast for the Dyersburg Weather Radio listening area. Severe thunderstorm watch 252 in effect until 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time this evening for Dyersburg and areas northwest and south of the Dyersburg area. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. A slight chance of showers this evening, then showers likely after midnight. Chance of rain 70%. Friday, mostly cloudy in the morning, then becoming partly sunny. A chance of showers. A slight chance of thunderstorms in the morning, then a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Chance of rain 50%. Friday night, mostly cloudy with showers with thunderstorms likely in the evening, then partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Chance of rain 90%.
Well, guys, crap. Y'all just heard it. Yeah, we're not under that severe thunderstorm watch. That's like 2 counties to the north, but if there's a severe thunderstorm watch up there, we could definitely get rain. Crap. So, Anyway, we've done 23 acres on this 62 acre farm. Kelly's got every bit of it sprayed. So it's got to be planted tonight. Otherwise, we get a rain on it, it'll take forever to dry up because that cover crop's been killed. Also, I guess I need to holler at Kelly. She's just about done making her second pass with a warrant over there at Clinton, you know, getting our residual down. So if it's going to rain tonight, that means she's going to turn around and get this farm sprayed also with warrant. That could, I mean, we could spray that later, because like I said, it could take this ground a while to dry up, and if we're going to get a rain on it tonight, I'd rather have the pre-emerge on here, go ahead and get it rained into the soil and activated. That way it can be working. So looks like it's going to be a late night for us. Well, Andy, the rain chances for tonight just went from 30% to 70%. So this farm being sprayed, we got to get this farm done before we can go home tonight, unfortunately.
Well, that stinks. Yeah, I'm actually on the phone with a buddy. He just said, well, I just felt some raindrops. They may be joking, but I just felt some raindrops.
Well, kick her up another mile an hour or so we can get as much of this complicated farm done before dark. As rough and cut up as this farm is too, Andy, you might want to put your seatbelt on, keep you in the seat. Yeah, the problem we're facing on this farm is it's a lot better farm to work than it used to be. I mean, this 60-acre farm used to have like 12 fields on there. I mean, there was terraces and silt basins everywhere because it's so steep and rolling, and erosion was a huge problem on it until, you know, I started cover cropping. And anyway, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I got a dozer and I took out probably 2/3 of the terraces and half of the silt basins on this farm. So it's a lot more pleasant to work, but we still got a whole lot of in-rows and wrapping around terraces and stuff like that, which normally, I mean, wouldn't be a problem. It's kind of a pain in the butt to work around, but this cover crop, it got so massive, that storm that we had, that storm that came through Sunday night, kind of blew this cover crop around, and you can see it's not laying all completely straight. It's kind of tangled because, you know, it got high and the storm kind of tossed it around. So it's, even though my strips are out here, like I said, the wind just kind of blew it over. So looking out across there, it's hard to get for Andy to get lined up on the strips to set his GPS. So what I'm having to do every time we start a new section, I'm having to get in there and plant a little strip so he can get his guidance line, you know, adjusted right to mine, because he's only covering 6 rows, while I'm covering 12 rows. We're running the same guidance lines, but he has to shift his guidance line over 3 rows so he can make 2 passes the same direction where I'm making 1 pass. And he said it's really hard for him to see the strips. He could easily be off 1 or 2 rows when he's shifting those guidance lines. So I'm having to kind of mark the pass. He adjusts his guidance line, and then he goes ahead and gets in front of me. See, right here is a good example. You can kind of see that a lot of the cover crop's kind of blown that way, even though it's been rolled that way. You know, it's just kind of twisted and everything else. And like I said, my burnt down strips are there. They're just really hard to see when the stuff's kind of tossed around. And something else too, that what these storms do, if we get some bad wind and stuff, is our wheat crop it's at the perfect stage to be vulnerable. It's got big heavy heads on it, but it hadn't started drying down yet. So we get some heavy rains with some wind, I mean, it could blow that wheat down. And right now it's all standing up perfectly. I mean, it's beautiful. If we can just get another couple weeks, you know, without a major storm on it, I mean, it's going to be so easy to cut. I mean, it's a beautiful looking wheat crop. If we get some storms like what they're predicting come in, I mean, there's going to be a lot of down spots in that wheat. You know, it's going to hurt yields. It's going to be slow going on harvest. Going to be more combine loss, and I hope we can get through the next few days without that happening. Yeah, I know I could have sprayed Palisade on my wheat and it would have definitely helped the situation. But, you know, normally, you know, wheat laying down is not a big issue for us in most years, and that Palisade's expensive. It's like another $14 an acre, and said I'm trying to save every penny I can this year, but this could be the year that spraying Palisade would have paid off.
Well, it looks like I got to join the party. Hello, boys. Matt said there's rain coming, so I have to come over here and spray. I'm gonna tell you right now, she's had it. She doesn't want to be in here anymore. Also, air conditioning sometimes works. Right now it's not working. It's a little hot in here.
Well, you say over there in distance, but Kelly made it over here. Me and Andy been rolling over here in the one of the bigger fields we got over here. We got about 20 acres left, and it's showing it's only 6:30. It's going a lot quicker than I thought it would. I tell you what, Kelly has had her work cut out for her today. I mean, you know, I've been on the planter, done all the loading and seed and everything. Andy's been on the creeper trying to stay in front of me, but Kelly is.
Am I only supposed to spray the stuff that you planted?
Nah, just go ahead and spray. It don't matter if we planted it or not. But you know, she's handled all the taking the water truck back, filling up with water, you know, mixing her chemicals, filling up multiple times, switching between Gramoxone and Warren and everything else, moving back and forth between farms because the Clanton's in Madison County and this farm we're on now is in Crockett County, so it's about 7 miles difference. So she's been having to run the sprayer back and forth there, and but anyway, she's been real busy today. Hey, you see that orange light? That's Kelly going by. She's going to get this last little field down here across the creek. She's gotten everything else sprayed, and that's all me and Andy like. About 10 more acres there to the trees over there, and we'll be caught up. Y'all can see how cut up this farm is. Look, I mean, we got a silt basin there that I left in. Then we got a terrace right there that wraps all the way around. Then we got a ditch, you know, down there that divides fields. We got a silt basin over there. We got rows going this way, and then over here we got rows going this way. And then we're gonna have rows, and then we're gonna have in-rows going around the terrace. But if y'all think this farm is bad now, man, y'all should have seen it before I took all these terraces out. Planting it with a 12-row planter was a nightmare. It worked back when we had a 4-row planter. It was doable when we had an 8-row planter, but when we got a 12-row planter back in 2009, it became an absolute nightmare. And literally all you're doing is turning around, running over crop and everything else. Well, there's Andy's last pass. I just got a total of 3 passes in this little bitty bottom. We'll be done. Just head back on in the shop. Will wait for me, and you can drop me off the water truck on your way home, so I can bring it in.
Okay, Carter was saying he doesn't mind taking me up there if you don't want to do that.
That's fine. If y'all want to go ahead and get it, go ahead. I'll go on back to the shop and get all this stuff cleaned off of my closing wheels. Plan on 7 o'clock in the morning, unless you hear from me. I mean, we'll plan on it not raining until it actually does.
Alright, yeah, that's kind of what I was planning on. I saw a couple raindrops today, but I don't know what the rain is doing.
I don't either. We'll probably get everything greased, loaded up, we'll make it to the field, get the in-rows done, and the bottom will fall out if I had to guess.
Be a sunny Friday if we don't.
I mean, it's early enough. I mean, it's only 8:30. I'm halfway tempted to load up with our next variety, go over there to the cell phone tower farm. Shut up. I know you ain't messing up. Got a bad electrical connection or something. Anyway, I'm tempted to load up the next variety, go over to the cell phone tower farm and get it planted tonight, because remember, it's all conventional till, and it's going to take forever to dry up if we do get a rain. I sure would love to get it planted before the rain. However, if we get any amount of rain, that's definitely the worst call. It's probably going to have the hardest time of coming up out of everything, and it would probably definitely be a replant situation, especially considering if I don't really know if I've gotten those wet spots completely fixed. There could be big center section out in the field that rots and have to go back over there and spot plans. So it's probably a better idea if we just go ahead and call it quits when I get done with this field, and we'll just see what the weather does. If the weather happens to hold out, not rain tonight, then we'll get back on in the morning. We'll get that field planted. And I've already learned several times this year that trying to make plans based upon the weather forecast, a lot of times it can backfire on you. So you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. If it's dry, we'll put the seed in the ground. If we got to replant, we got to replant. So anyway, we'll see y'all in the morning, see what the weather looks like.